Okay, let's set the stage for this demonstration. You have an automation server that's fully cleaned out, got the latest and greatest firmware in it, there's no database in it, it's ready to accept whatever you want to put into it. Your engineering department gives you a backup file that includes their entire database that they've engineered for this system. Keep in mind that backup files are revision sensitive, so when they created that in the engineering department, it needed to have been created and backed up at the same revision that you're working with on your project. Okay, I've already launched Workstation. I've entered admin and the IP address for our Virgin automation server. So we're ready to log on. There we go. And this, you should recognize this. It looks the same as the first time we logged on to a automation server that had no database in it. See server 1 up here, we expanded out, system empty IO bus. Okay, so what we're going to do now is do the backup, or I should say the restore of the backup file, and then all of this will change. So I'm going to pause the recording for a moment and then come back and do the restore. Okay, we start by going to what we call the server object, which is the root object in the tree, and we go right click, go down to restore command, and there are no backup files within the memory of the automation server. So we will import from our hard drive the file that the engineers gave us. Okay. So here we see April 07 class project. This is the backup file that was given to us by our engineers. So we highlight that. We say open. That copies that file from the hard drive into the memory within the automation server. Our list of backup files or backup sets now contains the one backup set that's allowed in an automation server. So I can highlight it and say restore. Confirm that that's exactly what I want to do. It says restore request was successful. The server will now restart and finish restoring. It may take several minutes. So this is going to go into a shutdown mode. So we're going to go into a shutdown mode while this restoration is happening, and then we'll come back. So I will pause the recording and wait until the automation server comes back with a solid green light, and then we'll rejoin the demo live. After a couple of minutes, the status light on the automation server has gone to a solid green, and all the I/O modules have also gone solid green on their status light. So I will log back on to the automation server. And our expectation is to see the same database we saw before when we used the import concept. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. I will expand out the tree, and you see all the same folders. Now one thing you'll notice is the name has not changed. So the engineer backed this up with a name called class project. So let's go ahead and fix that first. We'll highlight that and rename it to Central Plant as we did before. Okay. And after I say OK and get started, I'll probably pause the recording so we don't waste a lot of time waiting for it to do the rename process. Okay, the renaming process has concluded and it's logged us off. So we now need to log back on with the new name. So I'll type in admin, same IP address, select log on. And if life is good, it will come back in, and the name of the server object in the automation server will be Central Plant. And that's exactly what we get. There's our 3 I/O modules. There's our entire plant structure. The one other thing we did in the earlier demo was our date and time, so we'll go and check that as well. And it does say Central Time, and it says 4/8/213 at 1:18. The time is correct. Okay, so we're good. We are right back to where we were when we did the import of the 4 files. We have a completed database. Server object's been renamed, and the time zone's been set, and the time is reasonably accurate. And that was the entire goal of this demonstration, was to go through the process for restoring a backup file that your engineers gave you at the same software release that you are using for your project. Now, once again, I want to reinforce that we're directly connected to the automation server, and there is only capacity for 1 backup file at a time inside the automation server.